Now that I broke some trail, the old spoon likes it. Yeah. So I set up a mini biathlon for you up here. We can walk around and shoot targets.
Fun.
Yeah, it is. Oh boy. Oh guys, Buckskin Dave here. Found a use for this snow. I get to get back used to my snowshoes again. I walked up there and cleared the snow off of the 100-yard gong and over to the 150-yard gong. Today's forgotten caliber, and what I'm finding out after doing these is what I'm calling forgotten calibers, lots of people are calling favorite calibers. And that's probably the same way I feel about it. This next cartridge, it's been a favorite of mine since I was a kid. It was the first deer rifle I ever owned. It has a lot of history. It's the 308 Winchester or the 7.62 NATO. And anyway, we're going to talk about that today. Like I say, it's not that forgotten, but all these new calibers like the 6.5 Creedmoor are all trying to replace it. I personally don't think they can, but let's talk 308 today. Come on in the shop, we'll get her started. I gotta get this rig off before I fall and break my arm. Back in the 30-06 days, you gotta admit, the 30-06 served us well, went through 2 wars, but they were starting to look for the military is starting to look for a shorter cartridge that would give pretty close to the same results. The 300 Savage was something they looked at. You'll notice they both look kind of the same, but that really wasn't what they were looking for. They came out with a thing called the T65, which was basically the 308, well, it was the 7.62 NATO. And they came up with that in around, as they were playing around with it, I think it was around 54. But Winchester got a little bit before the gun, and they put it out as the 308 Winchester in 1952. And they put it in their Model 70. This is a Model 70. This one was more of a 1980s model. And this one's a little different. This is a 308, but it started out life as a 22-250. I just shot the barrel out of it so many times I finally re-barreled it as a 308, and now it's my wife's elk and deer gun. But the other thing with the 308 at that same period of time in the 50s, they were redeveloping the Grand as a battle rifle, and of course the 30 carbine was the same type of action, and they wanted to replace that. And that's when they came up with the M1A. One of my favorite battle rifles is the M1A. Actually the M14. This is an M1A civilian version, and these rifles are we love them. We love them. They're very tough. They're very durable, and as some of the snipers in the Vietnam War era discovered, they're really a very good sniper weapon, semi-automatic. It's the first SAS, right? They came up with semi-auto sniper systems. It's called SAS, and they were AR-type platforms. They already had one, but they came up with one in the AR platform. The 308 went on to be one of our better sniper rounds for a long time. It still is. In police work, it's definitely a still well used and represented round. The military start liking the 300 Win for a little while, and I think they still do. because it's a little more powerful as a 1,000-yard gun, even though the 308 was accurate out there at 1,000. The 300 would do the same thing with just a little more power. So, and then you can get into the 338 Lapua, and that's a whole nother story. But I'm going to shoot my M1A and this my wife's deer rifle in a Model 70 in 308. So the 308 was designed mainly for about 165 or 168 grain bullet, and that's what I load. I load the 168s for the M1A, and it shoots really, really well. For the deer and elk hunting, I like 180 grain soft tip bullets. I'll either use a Sierra or an Osler. I was using, when I was shooting when I'm shooting long range with it, you know, out to 1,000 yards, I was on one range where the guys are down in the pit, you know, putting the target up and down, and shooting the 168s at that 1,000 yard. They were telling me they didn't always hear the sonic crack when the bullet come over and hit the bank. So I upped them to 175s, and I got them running. I used 40-64, and I got them running out of there at about 2750, I think. It's a long barrel, slow powder, and I'm at high elevation, so I got them running out there pretty good. And that solved my problem. That heavier bullet stayed supersonic all the way out to 1,000, and it tightened up my groups. So for that real long range stuff, I don't do that with this hunting gun, of course. But with that real long range stuff, I like a 175. For a hunting round, I get the 180 soft tip. For the M1A, I'm putting the 168s in there. Okay, we're going to shoot the 150 yard gong. Should have done this yesterday when everything was dry. As you can see, we got lots of snow. I'm going to be sitting in water, but oh well. This is the 185, correction, this is a 180 grain bullet. It's a Nosler green tip. I've shot 2 elk with it in the 300. I've shot 2 elk with it and a couple of deer. Excellent, excellent, excellent bullet. So 180 grains. We're shooting at 150, I think it's a little over 150 yards. Let's see if we can make it go ding. Oh, I heard a ding. Let's do another. Okay, you with me? Let's try an offhand at 150. Nice. Boy, I'll tell you, holding the scope steady at 8-inch circle with 150 yards, it's harder and harder the older I get. That sun goes behind the cloud, and it looks like it's going to be behind the cloud till the end of the day now. Man, does it get cold. Versatility. The 308 has pretty near the same versatilities like it's a 25-06. Lots of bullets, lots of information. I started out with a 308. I was 17 or 18 years old. It was my first deer rifle. And my cousin still has that, and he just sent me a picture. I bought that, like I say, when I was 17, 18 years old. And he just shot a deer with that 308 last year. He sent me a picture. I gave that rifle to him quite a while ago. Anyway, during the time that I had that, I shot everything from 100 grain. There was 100 grain varmint loads you could get for it. The 130s were really, really nice. They were a little explosive when they hit a deer. They had a pretty good sized wound channel. Then you get into the 150s and the 165s and the 168s. they were pretty good. A soft-nosed bullet would just kind of cut right through an animal and really do the job quick. I shot a lot of deer with that. You can get up into the 220s with it. I don't think you have to. The 168 is what it's designed for. It'll have more energy at 400 yards because of its velocity than the 220 will. Unless you're at close range brush hunting, you could put that 220 in there and hunt with it, and it'd be a good close range, you know, bone buster. So versatility is great with the gun for hunting. Like I say, lots of loading material on it. So I'm going to sit here until my hands warm up, and then we'll shoot the M1A and see how much fun that is. I really enjoy shooting that gun. It's deadly accurate. It's a lot of fun, and it functions really, really well. Okay, let's start out with a few offhands on our 100-yard target. There we go. Not so good offhand anymore. Try a couple more. Plenty accurate. When this came out as the M14, it was a select fire weapon. Let's see. Got 450 yards. Let's see how she'll do out there. Well, that almost sounded like a hit. Yeah, I actually saw a little dust and snow fly off the steel. I don't know if you could hear the hit. Try another. Oh, you're empty, mister. Let me go get another magazine. Okay, let's see if we can get a few more of these up there. Like I say, I don't know, you barely hear it. It's a piece of steel about this big. It's 450 yards, and it's tucked under a rock, and there's snow piled up in front of it. And that one last shot, I got back on it quick enough, I could see where the snow blew away right under where you can see on the target. So I'm pretty sure I'm making hits. I don't think you can hear them. I'm going to try a couple more. Maybe we can blow away enough of that snow where you can actually hear it. It's fun to shoot, though. I do like this rifle. Huh. Didn't pick one up. There it is. I don't know if you heard that or not. It doesn't really ring because it's set up against some rocks. It more or less just goes thwack. But I could see the snow fly. There's another hit. That's a pretty accurate. There it is again. 450 yards, one right after another. I'd say it'll work for a deer cartridge. Alright, let's try our little 8-inch gong over here and see what it does. Uh-oh. There we go. Oh yeah. Let me set you up so you can see it hit. Right. Anyway, 308 Winchester, 765 NATO or 762 NATO, whatever you want to call it. It's a grand cartridge. I don't consider it forgotten, but the 6.5 Creedmoor's trying to drill it out and all these other cartridges, and in my opinion it holds its own. It's a good cartridge. When I close my eyes, all the ballistic tables are written on my eyelids. I just know the cartridge from shooting it. It's a great cartridge. So anyway, that's it for this episode. I'm Buckskin Dave. I'll see you next time. Don't leave out the 308 when you're looking at buying another rifle. You won't be disappointed, I guarantee it. Have a great day. Oh yeah. We love it.